All right, guys. Well, we did find what we came to look for. We're actually dropping one off here with our friend Junior. We've been dealing with Junior for probably 30 years.
Every bit of it.
Almost every day, multiple times a day at one of his businesses and shops. And he's got this beautiful truck. He's also doing a couple little custom touches to this truck for us and adding AC and some other things. And he's the meticulous person that needs those projects. So it slips in the project shop there and gets things done. So, but this 70 is a single owner. It was his father-in-law's truck with all the paperwork, all the documentation, and he has since passed. So Junior's had it sitting here. Truck sat for the last 20 years. It's got an 04 inspection. That was the last time it was on the road. And it's time to go. Ford doesn't fit in his family around here, so it's not something that he has a lot of time or effort. Plus, we got him plenty busy with other projects. So he's going to kind of tell you a little background on it. It's got some beautiful documentation. One of the most well-documented trucks I think you'll find. Even a really cool, even back in the day, people price shopped. Pretty crazy, but his father-in-law went to 2 different dealerships, and you'll see the spec sheet. It's not just a window sticker. It's handwritten. Every option, every price, down to the wire. And was it a couple $100 difference or something?
$500 or so.
Yeah, $500 difference, but they took time to write it all out, and he actually went from one dealership to the other and bought at a different dealership. So some pretty cool documentation, but currently it needs...
It's been sitting for 20 years, like JW said, and the valves are stuck, and when he tried to start it last, it bent all the push rods. So it will need some engine work.
Yeah. And other than that, it's a very solid body. Junior actually did the paint job on it because it faded from sitting in a lean-to barn.
This thing was painted over 30 years ago, and it's just been sitting in a lean-to for the last 20.
Yeah. Really, really solid truck. And honestly, it'd be a great four-wheel drive conversion. But for a lot of guys out there, this was their square body. The guys that were Ford guys, this was their square body truck. And there's a lot of Ford fans out there that would love it. It's got the little toolbox on the side. It's a sport custom. It's well documented, as you can see inside.
It is a 360 with a 3-speed overdrive and air conditioning.
And you see the paperwork in there, several extra parts, things he saved. We'll go around to the other side.
Another note, he had 2 other brothers, and all 3 of them bought the same truck at the same time.
Wow.
And the dash instrument cluster you see there, he took out of his brother's truck because the chrome was a little better on it, and he never installed it.
And you see, I've brought you guys on several recently. A lot of people even documented their fuel, their mileage when they got fuel. That was a big deal. We just brought you a square body the other day, same way. It had books full of this kind of stuff.
I think there's several books there.
Yep, quite a few here.
Yep.
And then, of course, they throw in a service or an oil change, but paperwork, inspections. But here's the really cool part. So, Richmond Ford, which is still in business, which we've got a truck for sale, a 72, AJ? What year's the blue one?
I think so.
Yeah, somewhere in the 70s that came from Richmond Ford also, but there's a spec sheet of how they itemized the truck with everything. 3723 is what it looks like it came out to be. And then he decided to go to Porter Motor Company Corporation in Dillwyn, ended up paying $3,063, and that's how they did their specs. Pretty cool. And then here is a printed one, which would have been very early. You don't see many printed ones. A couple handbooks. Still got the original radio. CB radio. Dual fuel tanks, right, Junior?
Yes, dual fuel tanks, dual exhaust.
So these would have been the error correct hubcaps, but the wheels on it would have been the very much later model, but not by much, in the 80s. Same that a Bronco would have had, yeah. Late 70s, early 80s. And then, what about these, Junior? Which one would have been right?
I think it was 2 different options. I think he had one off his brother's truck and then an original for his. And that is the original AC compressor laying in the back there.
That's what I was just, yep. So it is an AC truck.
Yes, it is an
Okay.
AC truck.
Excellent.
I don't know if it was factory or dealer installed.
A lot would have been dealer installed in those days because they tried to make the vehicles pretty cookie cutter along the line. Other than colors, you didn't get a whole lot of options or a whole lot of differences, unlike today. So a lot of things were dealer installed. Even when it started getting newer, power door locks, power windows, cruise controls, a lot of those things were dealer installed after the fact. But it's pretty unusual for it to be an AC truck either way. So.
Yeah.
What's it look like under the hood?
What's also unusual is this truck is a 3-speed with overdrive.
Yep, yep.
That was an add-on.
Okay.
It's all original.
Perfect. So as any of you dealers that are on here know, it's a pretty simple motor to plop out and do the work on, or put your crate motor in there. Coyote swap is popular. There's so many things, and that's why Junior's a full-fledged mechanic, can do anything. But he asked me, he said, what do we do at this point? Do we mess with it any further? Do we rebuild it? Do we go back stock? And I said, if you're not going to do anything further with it, now's the time just to stop, because the next person, again, you might put this on a newer chassis. There's so many crazy things that people do. Upgrade the suspension. If you're going to do that, you might as well pull it off the frame, clean the frame up. You could go any way you want to go with this truck, but it is a extremely solid, well-kept truck as far as staying out of the weather. Under the hood here, these areas would always pocket leaves, debris. That was a very common area to rust. On the inside as well, extremely common area to rust, just because of the fact that they sit for ages. Some people just used a truck for hauling lumber once a year or twice a year. Once a truck became not a daily driver anymore, but they became, where they sat, just like out here, leaves, pine needles, everything just packs full in those areas and holds moisture, and they rot and rust out. Animals get and build little nest up in these little pockets, and rats and mice, and so the sides of the hoods rust. There's just a whole lot of areas that this one is very, very much more well preserved. The bumper could use chroming. I mean, there's simple cosmetic things, but the truck is perfectly air correct the way it is, and it doesn't need a darn thing. All of its trim's in place, all of its bright work's in place, all of its glass is in place and in good shape. So it's a good solid truck. We're going to take some sample pictures, just some basics. This video is going to show people everything they really want to see, but AJ is going to photograph it. We're going to put it up on the website, so refer to the website. Junior and his wife are going to talk about the price and figure out where they want to be on that. And we are going to list it for them. So it can be delivered. It's no problem at all. It does not run. Just completely remember that. It does not currently run. It will need some motor work as far as that goes. How in depth you go, that's up to you. The bottom end may be okay. It's hard to say. The valves kissed the piston, but did they damage anything? It's, we don't know. You said bent the push rods, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So from sitting it's
Some
stuck.
of the push rods are laying up on the top there I took out.
Okay.
So.
But there it is, guys. That's a really, really, really cool, extremely well documented, legit barn find. Even though we knew where it was, we didn't have to find it. It's a real barn find, like people sought after, and like these TV shows fake all the time. This is the real deal. Out here in the country, and a super, super well preserved, not a boogered up, not a bondoed up. When you painted it, so that we know the history. So.
Yeah, it's been 30 some years ago.
Right, but it was mainly scuff and shoot. And
yeah, pretty much. The paint was faded. It was an old farm truck. He had a farm in Dillwyn. That's why it was bought there. He drove back from Chesterfield to Dillwyn twice a week, take care of his cattle, and it's just had some little things. It might have had some pinhole rust spots in it, but I think if you look inside the doors and stuff like that, where they normally rust, it may have a.
Yeah, shoot the bottoms of the doors and stuff, AJ,
there,
and the rockers and stuff.
All in all, good, solid truck. I mean, you can look at the bed inside of it. It's just a solid truck.
Well, there it is, guys. AJ's going to photograph it. If you need anything further, it will be available for us to get extra pictures, extra videos, whatever. It's going to be sitting right here until somebody buys it, and then we'll transport it. You can send a transporter, whatever you want to do. But with time restraints, that's as far as we can go with this one, unfortunately. So, figure out what you want to do with it and make it your dream truck. If you're a Ford guy, I know we don't bring a lot of Ford content, but this is a really cool one, and somebody's going to have a beautiful truck on their hands. So thanks, guys, for watching as always. You'll see Junior a little bit more. We talk about him in some of the videos. We don't really put his name out there, but he's been around for a lot of the experiences and a lot of the times, and I was going to his shop before I could even drive with my dad, so we've been around each other a long time. So.
I can remember you getting off the bus.
Yep, getting off the bus to go to work. So anyway, thanks, guys. We appreciate it, and this will be up for sale. It will be on the website. We'll try to drop it in the comment section and in the description as well once they have decided on a price, and be up for grabs, first come, first serve. Thanks.